Well, another crazy start to another day in the life of Nanny and Moose. Here I sit in my car again, waiting for the second day in 2 days for a tow truck to come. I have a dead battery again. A brand new dead battery. I also have some other fun things that I'm chatting about. And there's some girly gossip stuff in here too, if you like some gossip. So come on, if you have nothing else to do, just sit down with a cup of coffee or something and join me. We'll just chat about all kinds of stuff. I just woke up, came into the kitchen, grabbed my water. I finished the one next to my bed. Now I have to drink almost one of these now before I do much at all. And while I'm trying to drink this, I'm going to stand here in the kitchen and do some exercises. Not knock myself out, just doing some limber up exercises. That's all you have to do as one of your morning habits at this point for longevity and senior aging. I'm drinking my water as much as I can. Now, I'm waking myself up. Some good swings to get everything going, right? Kind of do that for 10 times, right? Then cross your arms back and forth to the point where you, right to the end, gets you kind of going, right? And then you go this way. Come on, get up, ladies. Do this with me. It's fun. Okay, now, whatever else you can think of to just get that body moving. Now, is your heart racing a little bit? If it is, let's see what we can do here. Push those back. Ooh, that's the hard part, right? Okay, now we're gonna work on some of the legs. You can't see my legs too well, but I'm gonna stand back here. And here they are, dressed in their jammies. We're gonna do some semi-squats. What we're gonna try and do is to just do some squats. Now I can't go very far down anymore. I used to be able to, but I'm holding on to the counter and I'm going to do as many of these as I can. Then I'm gonna stretch out my body a bit and I'm gonna do some kicks to the side. Okay, as many as you can. Okay, 10, 15, whatever you can imagine. Then the other leg. Oops, I'm kicking the stove. Kind of a tiny kitchen, but all right, let's just pretend we're doing a lot of those. And then back. Just swing that leg. See how tiny my kitchen is? I'm hitting the trash can back there. And then the other leg. You know, you can make these things up and everything is safe because you're holding on. You can hold on with one hand and do those leg swings, especially to the sides. All right, and then turn around this way, do it this way. All you have to do is about 5 minutes of these and you're ready to go. You just have to limber up that body. Now I'm doing, forgot about these, those bent arm ones. You know, whatever else you can think of. It's kind of fun. You can put some music on. You're just here waiting, not for your coffee yet, but drink some more water in between if you want. Just keep going. Now, I can hear myself puffing a little bit now. That's good, really good. Now there was one more I wanted to do. We have to talk about balance a little bit. And to me, that's very important. You need balance to be able to keep going, to keep your mobility, especially at my age, which is in the super ager zone. But to do this even in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, you don't have to be out there doing all sorts of great things. Now, watch this. I'm gonna try and stand on one leg, and I know I can do it holding on. And if I just hold one leg up in the air, I can hold it pretty high. I'm pretty flexible, as you know, and limber. And then just try standing. This is for your balance. 10 seconds if you can do it. Then try the other leg. 10 seconds. And if you can't do this without holding on, keep holding on for days, 6, 7 days. Maybe at the end of that week, you'll discover that, you know what? Maybe you can do it without holding on. I can do it sometimes, not always. Let me try. Whoop. Nope, not today. I can get to about 4 seconds, but we'll get better, won't we? So after you feel you're all limbered up, take that water, or now, if you're ready for that cup of coffee, go outside and get some of that natural air. So now we're up. First thing you do is you drink as much water as you can, at least a full glass full, if not a bottle full. Take your medications, whatever you have to do. Then come into the kitchen. Number 2, do those exercises, just 5 minutes worth. That's all you have to do. Then, in your jammies or whatever, go outside. Go out on your patio, go out in your backyard. Take your cup of coffee with you if that's what you want now at this point. And enjoy the natural light. You need the natural light, that vitamin D in your system. Sit in a chair, soak up the sun. Now, it's not quite 8 o'clock now, and for the 3rd day in a row, it's drizzly. My poor brother Tommy and Mosey, they've had terrible weather since they've been here in California, and they're about ready to go home already. But no sun. I think that's what they were looking for. But it's okay. Their son Brian has been taking them around. They went to Coronado down in Newport, and they've just been driving around doing fun things and visiting. So I think I'll talk to my brother Tommy today, give him a call. What I have to do this morning is I have to go out and go to the store. Yes, I have no milk, so I've been giving Moosey eggs for the last day or 2 and some oatmeal, but no cereal. I don't drink milk. Sometimes I'll put it in something, but the only time I use milk really is basically for his cereals in the morning. So I'm going to go out, and I think on the way home, I will stop at my Del Taco and get one of those egg and cheese quesadillas for moi and one for him, and come home and we'll enjoy that as our breakfast and his treat. He has put on my little list that I keep up there on my refrigerator. He wants some ice cream cones, those frozen ones. He wants some Lorna Doones. You can see what I'm up against, right? And a few other little things that he's put on there that I have not been keeping in the house lately. So, as you know, I don't crave sweets. One thing that I picked up last week is a nice box of some dates. And these dates I can eat on their own, or I can put them in my Mediterranean salads. There's a few other unusual things I want to show you too that I've picked up. And these things are going to be for my special fun plate of things that I can eat. As you know, I don't eat breakfast until later in the day, and I have those sardines and herring and things like that that I absolutely love, my artichokes. Now I have added 2 things. I also have at least half an avocado almost every day. If they're not ripe, it's every other day, but I have a couple ripe at one time, and when that happens, I will make some guacamole for Moosey and myself. And he does like a few slices on toast or just to dip. And avocados are so good for you, as you know. But one of the things that I've added, and I can't wait to try, I've never had it. Do you know what this is? Is this a fruit or is it a vegetable? Tell me if any of you know. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But maybe later on in the day, I will cut this up, or maybe the next video. And I understand that it's quite delicious, and I'm anxious to try it. And I had to go to the Mexican market to find this. So let me know if you know what it is. Have any of you ever tried these? Yeah, they're good for dipping too. So I'm getting some new ideas for my nanny dipping plate, my dippity do plate, that you eat these raw things noontime for lunch or for breakfast. I don't usually eat too early. In fact, I'm not hungry. I'll go out and do my shopping with just maybe a half a cup of coffee in me and be perfectly happy to have my first meal, if you want to call it. I don't think of breakfast as a meal, but I will have that probably about 10:30 by the time I get home. So, are you ready to go outside? Let's make some coffee, and maybe it's drizzly out there, but at least I'll be getting some natural light for I'll just walk out with my coffee from breakfast. By the way, I had a good night's sleep last night, and I'm going to tell you all about it when I get back. So, guess what? Came out to get in the car to go to the store. Dead battery again. 2 days later, paid $221 for the brand new battery on Friday. Drove it for quite a while Friday, so I know it's not that. Oh gosh, I hope it's not something worse. I've just called AAA again, and this time it's an hour. So I have 45 minutes to wait. You know, I've been so lucky. I've had this van for so long. I've loved it. I'm not a car person. I don't need a new car. We don't put a lot of miles on the car. We have taken some long trips, but it's been great. This is a Kia Sedona. It's a van, and it's old, but it's been so serviceable for me. And I haven't had any car troubles with it up to now. And I've always said, I hope the car lasts longer than I do. I don't want a new car at this point. What else could it be? The only other things I know about cars are, I don't know about them, but I know the words: alternators, pistons. What else could be wrong? I have a brand new battery in there. Is it spark plugs? Gosh. You know, you don't realize how car troubles affect your life until things happen, right? Well, I have a nice cup of hot coffee here. I did give Moosey some oatmeal. I didn't need milk for that. See, I'm out of milk, and that's why I wanted to get going real early this morning. There were other things I needed. I wanted to get out, go down to the store, do my shopping. I have a small list, which, by the way, is sitting in there on the refrigerator. I better go in and put it in my pocket now. How many times I've forgotten to take it with me and tried to guess as to what I needed. But that list is so important. As I run out of things, I put it on the list. So here I sit in the yucky weather. The sun's not out. It peeked out for 1 minute and went away. You know what? If that's all that's wrong with my life, it's not bad, right? But it's annoying. Well, I'll sit here and drink my coffee. I just opened the gate down there, so I'm okay. I suppose I could get out of the car and do some exercises, right? But I don't feel like it. Well, I was going to talk about a few things today. Now, I might as well do it while I'm sitting here in the car, right? I did have a great sleep last night. Can you believe it? And I did not take the melatonin. Colleen went out and bought me some melatonin. Actually, we found that Moosey had a bottle anyway, and he uses it from time to time, but you know what? It doesn't help him. He's still up 3 and 4 times during the night. I see him reading his tablet, and it doesn't keep him sleeping all night. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I have heard that from you, my friends. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? So I wanted to see, because I had had 2 really, really awful nights before this, to see if I could get to sleep on my own, with my own resolutions to do this. I didn't want to take it. You know, I take enough medications as it is, and I'm not one for taking. I don't like to put a lot of other things in my body. When I have to take an antibiotic, yes, I do, or anything that the doctor says I need for my body, I will take. But I'm not one for any kind of drug that, even a pain medication, if I have a pretty good tolerance for pain. So I get these prescriptions when something happens for tramadol and whatever, and I don't use it. I have it there, but I don't use it. So I decided, okay, I'm going to bed. Well, had a nice supper last night, and got into bed early because I was doing some work on my iPad. Now, I know people do say that the iPad and your phone and everything else should be shut off at least a couple of hours before you go to sleep. Well, you know, that's kind of hard to do. I was watching a movie. I decided to put the TV on. Now, Moosey does sit in front of a television all day long, and I can't get him out of that habit. The minute he gets out of bed in the morning, where does he go? He goes to Moosey's World, gets right in the chair, turns that TV on. I know it's a bad habit, but that's Moosey, and he's happy. So by the time he comes into bed at night now, he doesn't want to watch television anymore. He has trouble with his neck looking at the television anyway in the bedroom from the bed. So if there's something I want to watch, I don't turn the TV on at all, unless nothing in the daytime. But if I want to watch something at night, if I get a tip that there's a good movie or something that I want to watch, I will turn the TV on, because sometimes if I flip through those channels, I am so discouraged by what's on TV. You see the same old things that have been on for years and years and years, reruns, or these young things that I don't recognize anybody in them, or the news. I get plenty of news from my iPad or whatever. If I'm up to date on everything, I don't need to sit and watch news over and over and over again. But I did somehow hear that there was a good movie coming on Lifetime for the first time, and it was called The Secret Life of the Dean's Wife, and it was a premiere showing on Lifetime. So I did put that on, and that went on about 9 o'clock, somewhere around there. And you know, there are commercials all during these things, but I got interested in it. I was really enjoying it. It was a thriller, and it was all about a woman. It was all about her, the wife of the dean of a big prestigious college or university. And something happened with a student that involved, that she discovered, sort of her husband was involved a little bit. Well, it goes on, and it got so intriguing. And she had a daughter, and it was so exciting, and I was watching it. Moosey was reading his tablet, so he wasn't interested in it. And I went to roll over or something in the bed, and how many times have you done this? I rolled over on the clicker, and it shut the TV off. Oh my gosh. So I had sort of forgotten the name. You know, I got the name mixed up, and I tried to put it on, and of course that takes a while to get the TV back on again, and Then I couldn't remember the number of the channel, and I was flicking all through it. And do you know, I never was able to get back to, I never found it, whether it was near the end or what. Yes, it had been on for a while. I couldn't find it. Never found out the ending. It was something I was really, really excited about. And I was enjoying it. And it was a thriller with that, you know, ooh, what's going to happen next? Who done it, you know? Anyway, I never found it. And that probably was about 11, maybe 11:30. And I spent so much time going through with the clicker up and down all the channels. Never found it. I remembered it was Lifetime, but by that time something else was on, and I thought it was it because the woman looked something like it, but I knew the other characters weren't the same. It was awful. So finally, I just shut the television off and drank some more water, went to the bathroom, got all cozy, and I think by that time Moose was snoring. So I wasn't tired, you know. Sometimes the TV will make you fall asleep, which I was hoping maybe that would happen, but it didn't, you know. It was a good movie. So I just relaxed myself, and I got on my side, and I got all cozy with the covers up around me, and started to do my spiritual meditation in my head, and before you knew it, I was asleep. I did not wake up until 3:30, I think it was, when I looked at the clock. So that was what, 4 hours almost? And I couldn't believe it. I did have to go to the bathroom because I was drinking water, of course. And when I came back, a lot of times can't get back to sleep, so I will open my iPad or my phone or something, and I'll watch that. Well, that's not the right thing to do sometimes, but sometimes if you're tossing and turning, yes. What else are you going to do? You're not going to toss and turn for 2 hours, so you will put something, maybe the television back on or something. But I decided not to do that. I got right back into the bed, pulled the covers up, got cozy again, laid down, and guess what? I didn't wake up until 6 this morning. I felt great. I had had, what, maybe 6-7 hours sleep. And I didn't take melatonin. I didn't even take an aspirin, a PM. The night before, I had tried that Tylenol extra strength, and that didn't do anything for me. Anyway, I'm going to try it again tonight. So I did have a good sleep. Well, I still have 40 minutes to wait here, so I guess I'll just sit here. I did give Moosey his oatmeal. I did want to do some more talking about the real life. What's really going on in our lives? What's keeping us going besides the habits that you should be doing to keep yourself healthy, the morning exercises, the water, keeping your positive mindset going, all those things. You know the drill. Taking the right medications to be able to stay healthy and stay mobile and all of that. But a lot of it is in your mind, isn't it? Especially when you get up into the super ager years. I was reading some articles about celebrities and this amazing new thing that seems to be happening, but it seems to be a big secret as to what these celebrity women and society women have discovered so far as work done on their faces. That there's some wonderful thing that seems to be going on that no one can detect what they're doing. And they mentioned Christina Aguilera has had some work done. And we're gossiping now. We're having fun girl talk now. So Christina Aguilera evidently had, before her latest big movie, The Wicked, she had some work done on her face, which no one could detect what it could have been. It was so marvelous. And who else did they mention? Oh, Martha Stewart. I read something by Martha Stewart's doctor, a dermatologist, who talked about all the things that he had recommended for Martha for her face. And she has had only light Botox, perhaps dipping into fillers and lasers from time to time, but only light things. He emphasized that word. But he said some of the products that he has her using, and there were 3 top products to keep her aging so well. One was this marvelous night cream that you would use in the beginning, maybe only 3 or 4 nights, and then go a little further with it. And I forget the name of it, but it was $139, but it was fabulous. And second of all, some hydrator. Now that was only $169. That was a good one, but definitely that. And then a little retinoid, I think, was the third one. That was a cream of some kind. Oh, and also a sunscreen of some kind, which was fairly reasonable at 100 and something or other. But so I was thinking about all of us that are left in this world, the real folk, like you and like me, and why we would even, well, we wouldn't even think about buying creams like that. Maybe some of you would, I don't know, but at this point, what's more important? Yes, we all want to look wonderful, and so we do what we can to look good. And I've often told you, I never did much during my life as far as using fancy creams and things. I never even wore makeup, as I've told you, until I was almost 80 or 80, maybe 81. I did use eye makeup, mascara, and maybe a little eyeshadow. Sometimes I used to try and fool around with the grays and blues, but not much on my eyes. But I did use the mascara because my eyelashes were always very pale, and a little cheeky stuff, blush of some kind, but never foundation, only because my skin was very dry. And all I knew about then was the powders and things which would flake up my skin. And I was definitely just a gal that, because my skin was so dry, I had to use all the oils and greases that I could. I've been a Nivea gal since my 30s, just smearing that on any kinds of oils. And of course, Vaseline has always been a favorite with me, slugging with it, putting it all over my body sometimes. Someone I think it was Jazz that reminded me that Doris Day was a Vaseline gal. She put Vaseline on all the time. But at any rate, I thought, isn't it so funny? So many of us are so different. Now, I know there are many people who do love and enjoy the high-end cosmetics. And that's wonderful. I'm sure they're great. I never did get into them because, number one, I started it very late in life. Maybe I would have in my younger years if I enjoyed it. But with raising 6 kids and having a very busy life and teaching and selling real estate and all the various other things that I was into and all my hobbies, I was fortunate not to have to think about a lot of cosmetics. So I never had an interest in them, and even now, I'm not one that thoroughly sits down and enjoys putting makeup on. I wish I did, because it could be fun, and I hear about how much fun it is for people who have done this for so many years, that it's an enjoyable thing to do. With me, it's get it on and get on with what I have to do that day. And as a result, when I started buying makeup, which was when I started my YouTube and I started watching other ladies, I went for the drugstore, the low-end cosmetics like e.l.f. and L'Oreal and Maybelline and Wet n Wild, and they worked for me. And I liked the fact that I didn't have to spend a lot of money. Moosey liked the fact. So I never did dabble in high end, and I'd be afraid to try them now, afraid that maybe I'd love them too much. So at this stage of the game, I think I'll stick with my regulars. I try and do everything the right way. I never could. I did buy some brushes, not high end brushes, but I did buy them. I have some nice ones. Actually, Colleen gave me some nice ones, but I don't get the hang of it. I don't know why. So I've always used my fingers. You know, maybe in my super ager years, I should experiment a little bit more with brushes. Maybe I will try in my next video to use brushes again. Someone the other day said, Nanny, use a sponge. And I have those sponges. I have several of those sponges to blend your makeup. I don't know whether they were talking about my blush or what, but maybe I'll try that. So here I am sitting in the car, gabbing and gabbing away, and looking out at the cloudy sky. Not even clouds, it's just sort of a white sky. You know those days when the sky is just white, it's not blue, you don't see clouds or anything, you just see kind of foggy white. That's what it is today. Well, I'm kind of anxious to find out what's the matter with my poor car. I hope it's not serious. I'm not ready for something like that. I thought my battery would carry us through here. So I've got sweats on today because of the weather. Here we are in May, and I should be wearing all my cute little caftans and lightweight things, and I'm not yet, am I? I hope that'll come. Okay. I think I'll sign off for a while here. Well, it's about 1 o'clock today, and my adventuresome morning is over. I have just come back from the market, and I have put most of my bags in the kitchen. I have a few left and decided to take a break and talk with you. My exciting morning is over, hopefully. And I did get another battery. Evidently, the situation, it sounds weird, but the same nice young man came, Emmanuel, from the tow truck place that AAA sent him out to. And I said, I can't believe it. On Friday, you gave me a new battery. He said, let me test it. He said, because I'm going to tell you a story, what happened. Well, he got in the car and he realized it was dead. So he went to the truck. He said, obviously your battery is under warranty since it's only 2 days old, but it is dead and drained. And we tested everything, he said. So he went through some things in the car. He tested a light, but it closed but the light went off when you closed the door, and some other things. He said, no. He said, let me tell you what happened. He said, I am the only guy on there today. He said, I've been so busy. I've already had more than half a dozen calls, and this was way before 10. And he said, I've already replaced 2 batteries that I put in just 2 days ago. So he said, I told my manager, and we must have had a bad batch of batteries from the manufacturer. Can you believe that? Poor guy. So he said, I'm taking this one out, and I have another new battery. It's not from the same batch. And he said, I'm going to put it in for you. Of course, it was no charge. And so I have a new battery. Let's hope that was the situation, that it wasn't my shock plugs, my alternator, my whatever do I know, my pistons, what other words do I know, car words. I think that's about it. Electrical shock absorbers, whatever. As I said, I sure hope my car outlasts me, because I'm not in the market for any new cars at this point in life. But I wanted to tell you a couple of things right now while I'm sitting here relaxing. The Amazon just came, and Colleen walked down with what came for me today. I have been out. You've probably noticed I haven't been wearing my very favorite iced amethyst, my Revlon lipstick that I always wear, and then put a little bit of my highlighter on it. Right now I don't have, I just put it on. I just ordered 2 more of these because I was out. I thought for sure I had backups. I couldn't find them. But here it is, and so many of you have asked what color it is. Now it is a little dark right now on me because I don't have the highlighter on. I just put it on. And it's Revlon number 625 Iced Amethyst. And I get it on Amazon, and it's only $6 or $5.98 or $6.25. It's creamy, it's nice. The Revlon lipsticks are good, and they're very, very reasonable. I did want to show you what else came in the mail. You know, like many of you say, I'm always losing my phone, and I'm asking Moosey, please call me and let me find it, because I'm running in and out of the shed to do wash or to pick something up, or out here to the garden, in and out. I'm always have my camera with me because I always taking some pictures of something, whether it's the flowers or whatever, and I leave it somewhere, and then I have to waste time looking for it. And sometimes I really can't find it, and I've wondered if maybe I threw it out in the trash when I was taking trash out. So I happened to see on Amazon that they have crossbodies for phones. Now, in the old days, the kids used to laugh at me when I had those tiny little flip phones, because there was a little clip on it that you could actually put it on a lanyard. And I used to have it always around my neck, all the time, hanging around my neck. And I was always had my, I used to wear these magnifying glasses, you know, the little skinny ones. And I always had 1 or 2 pairs on my head, and I'd be bringing them down. In fact, when we had our 50th wedding anniversary, the whole family was there. We went down to a hotel down in Huntington Beach. Now this is a bunny rabbit story. Here I go. But it's kind of a gossip storytelling day anyway, right, ladies? What else do we have to do? And we had this wonderful 50th anniversary party that all the children, the grandchildren, the kids, everybody planned. And everybody got rooms down in the hotel, and I'll try and find a picture and put the picture on, but it was Hawaiian themed, and they had all gotten leis and all wore Hawaiian shirts, and we spent the weekend on the beach, having beach parties at night, and just having so much fun for the weekend. And the night of our anniversary, they had planned a special party, and it was in an area of the hotel outside where they had a big, giant, round area with a fire pit in the middle, and areas where we could all sit around. Now, this was after a meal that we had outside, and I bet there must have been, at that time, I'd say maybe 30 or 40 of us. Now we're up to 56, including all the great-grandchildren and spouses and everybody. But it was the most wonderful night, and it was a roast of Moosey and I. And as we all sat around in the evening around this big fire, all the grandkids and everybody after our meal, one at a time, they would get up and they would tell funny stories about Nanny and Moose and tell their memories. Some of them were poignant and cute. Some of the kids said the cutest things about, I remember Riley, who must have been, oh gosh, Riley is married now and just has a brand new baby. I don't know, was he 10, 12, something like that? And I remember him getting up and saying how much he loved us and how happy he was to have us living so close that he could see us all the time. And he talked about some memories from up in Big Bear as a really young guy and the fun we had up there. But it went on and on. But the funny part was Sabrina, Mikey's wife, got up, and she was in a house coat. You know those summer house coats with zippers, and they're usually a crinkle print of some kind, very granny-ish. and short sleeves. Well, in the summertime when it was really, really hot, I would wear these in the morning. Sometimes I probably would leave it on all day long. So I used to always have the phone around my neck, the glasses on my head, and guess what Sabrina dressed up as? She dressed up as me. And when the person who was getting up to do their roast of us, they would go into the middle, and there was some kind of a brick wall that they could stand up on. And she went in, and she's the middle of the circle with all of us sitting around. And she got up and dressed in one of these house coats with a phone hanging around her neck and a couple of pairs of glasses up on her head. And she gave the funniest roast of me. Well, right away, everybody recognized Sabrina, and it was so funny. But anyway, so that's my bunny rabbit story about my phone. So now I'm back to wearing a phone again, I think. Now I saw this one. They do have thin ones, and they do have some with a band or something that you can clip onto the phone. Some of them don't have these. I wanted the wider canvas thing, only because I just think it's more comfortable. But they have nice thin leather straps, and some of the phone covers are leather, and they're very nice. This one I wanted because it was a little bit bigger, and you can put not only your phone in here, and it'll just plop right in, but anything else you wanted to carry around. Sometimes I need my car keys just here because I mislay those too. So anyway, I found this. It looks like a denim fabric, and I'm gonna wear it like this, or maybe I will wear it around my neck. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But it seems comfortable enough. I'll have to loosen it so that it's longer too. There we go. And I'll just wear it like this, no matter what I have on. My phone will always be with me, hopefully, and whatever else I feel I have to carry around with me. So that's what came in the mail besides my lipsticks today. So that's a couple of rabbit hole stories for you. A little bit of girly gossip about work being done on the celebrities' faces and what they do. And what else did we talk about? I don't know. Had a lot of time on my hands this morning as I was waiting for the AAA fella to show up. So it's just a mixed match type of a video. I also did some pictures of some of the things I was buying when I was shopping. Well, guess what? I see these in Vons, but I didn't realize they were 10 bucks a piece. Kiwi fruit is very, very good for you. I love kiwis. Oh, radishes. Haven't had it in a long time, but I love them. Yes, these look good. I was going to show you some of the things I got. I did get a lot more olives and cherry tomatoes and things. My cherry tomatoes are starting to come over here, and I'm looking at my tomatoes in my garden here. But these, I'm just so addicted to this Mediterranean salad. I've been having it every day, if not every day, every other day. And I'm having it all times of the day. Late morning, afternoon, evening, sometimes right after I get up in the morning. I can't believe it. But I'm loving it, and there's so many different things that you can put in it besides the cucumbers, the olives, the tomatoes, and capers, and all kinds of fun stuff. So I did get lots of that. I bought some more mushrooms for our cream of mushroom soup. I was out of mushrooms, and when I cleaned out the refrigerator last week, I did find a box that had gone south. So I don't want that to happen anymore. I had to throw those out. What else did I get? Oh, bread for Moosey. I did find some more sourdough for him. He likes open-faced sandwiches and things. Our diets are getting so different with Moosey and I that it's kind of interesting trying to feed him what he wants. He also wanted Lorna Doones shortbread. He wanted those frozen ice cream cones with chocolate and the nuts on top. What else did he want? Anyway, I kind of give him a little plastic bag with things to keep on his side of the bed if he wants to eat anything when he comes in after his ball games at night, and not show me, because those things are not something I crave. But you know, when you see a little piece of shortbread, you do want a little bit of it, don't you? Okay, I'm just going on and on here. What else did I want to show you? Oh, something else that I'm going to use. I have different ideas for dips. Besides cottage cheese that you can mix with various things to make it tasty, I did get some more hummus. I love hummus as a dip, and I might be using that with all my various things to be able to dip, besides my dill dip, which is my favorite. And you can tell me if you've come across any dips. Something else. Do you all love capers? I do. I love capers. What else did I want to show you here? I bought this for Moosey's lunch today. It's a really interesting thing. He likes to eat something. He gets very hungry. I don't eat lunch. But it's a roast beef sandwich with a cheddar cheese and a pretzel sandwich. Now this is good, actually. I've tried one of these. This is a roll that tastes like pretzels, and it's a bread that's made from pretzel dough, I guess. So he will have probably this. I might have a sliver of this because it does look good. All right, I better finish taking all this in. You know, if I don't get to set up the camera inside, I just want to end this here. And I want to say thank you to all of you for watching and especially the binging. So many of you, when I don't put up a video as often as I have been wanting to lately, so many of you have been going back, going through all our videos and enjoying them and commenting on them. And I thank you so much for doing that. There is such a variety. We have 675 videos, I think, that we've made in the last 4 or 5 years since we've been on YouTube. And they're family, they're cooking, they're funny, some of them. Some of them are the accidents my poor Moosey has had with all his different falls and all the times he's been in the various skilled nursings. And it's kind of been a kaleidoscope of our life over the past 4 or 5 years. And you might find it interesting if you have nothing else to do and you want to see some good food maybe, or hear some good stories. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here with us. And hopefully I'll get this video up and you can see it tomorrow. It might be a crazy one. I love you all. Bye for now. See you soon, and God bless us all.